Hello, Virgo. Thank you so much for joining me. So as always, before we get started, we're going to take a look at your oracle cards. And this week, Virgo, from Lay Vampire, you pulled compassion, empathy, simpatico, and kindness. And from Chakra Wisdom, you pulled rejection. Now, compassion from Lay Vampire is really talking about you being able to change your mind about who has compassion within their heart for you and who is actually caring for you. The image in the card suggests being caught in strong arms. Somebody unexpected may be coming through that is going to have compassion for you and what you're going through. And what some of you may be going through is rejection. Now, rejection from Chakra Wisdom says that rejection is spirit's protection. In some cases, some of you may be looking for approval from others. And I think what's going to happen is you may feel rejection by some people, but the people who truly have compassion for you will make themselves available to you. All right, Virgo, here we go. Here is the energy coming through. I don't even know what to say. There have been a few readings where this has been the central issue. Justice is about fairness and balance. I don't think I've ever talked so much about this card before. And a lot of people may be dealing with some Libras, but justice is really about weighing out a situation and making final decisions. It's wanting fairness and balance. And again, being the card of Libra, this has to do with fairness and balance in relationships because of Libra ruling the 7th house. But this is also wrongs being amended, whether they're on your side or another person's. But this being, the signifier here is suggesting you wanting to make some final decisions that are going to create fairness and balance for you. And in the past, the 7 of Swords. There are a couple of ways to look at this, and we will see what unfolds here. When you look at the 7 of Swords as your past actions, it may be you, I don't want to say acting in a sneaky behavior, but like holding your cards close to your chest, so to speak, right? Not really revealing all of your plans. Some of you may not be revealing the way that you're thinking, the way that you're feeling. Now, in some cases, this may have to do with deception in the past. You acting deceptively or somebody else. Some of you actually may have dealt with theft, especially with justice sitting there. But we will see how the 7 of Swords plays out. In the present, the 6 of Swords. There's always this little bit of sadness with this card for me because this is coming out of the 5. I see it as, it's about moving into calmer waters, right? Getting away from conflict. But the sadness comes from not expecting to have to do that. This is somebody coming out of difficulties and now they're moving away from this. And then looking at that with the 7 of Swords on top, this could really be you having to leave a situation where you may have had to leave some things behind. But, justice, big time. There's a need for fairness and balance. Nice. So future conditions, temperance. Temperance is patience. It's patience, it's moderation, it's balance. There is balance between your thoughts and your emotions. And it's guidance as well. That's the other big thing with temperance. The difficulties that you've been through in the past are leading you definitely into those calmer waters where you start to have some patience with amending these wrongs. Like, the wanting of fairness and balance is there, but you're like patiently waiting for it. And temperance is telling you also to be patient. I think you will start to see that. I'm looking at it this way and waiting to see what happens here, but definitely for some of you, just looking at the 6 of Swords and the 7, some of you may have actually had to move. But You know, generally looking at this, some of you dealt with some difficulties in the past where you may have had to take with you what you can and get the hell out of Dodge, basically. But seeing Temperance come out of this is really hopeful. Your best path to follow, the King of Swords. You know, again, it goes with fairness and balance. This is Spirit's advice to you. This is really talking to the side of Virgo that is the critical thinker. You know, you guys are the detectives. You have a tendency sometimes to think too much about shit, but looking at the King of Swords here is saying that you need to use logic and reason and clarity and clearly communicating how you feel about this situation. But moving forward, especially with Temperance being here, it is saying not to let your emotions take control here. You know, if you're really looking to get some balance here, there is a need to think clearly. And again, Libra seems to keep showing up for some people. In your environment, the Page of Wands. And that's good to see. This says that you're moving forward with enthusiasm. You know, there's excitement here and there's passion. And where you have had difficulties in moving into these calmer waters, you know, you're following your passions here with the Page of Wands. But there's that enthusiastic, fun feeling here where, you know, it may be one of those things where you're having to leave some pain behind. You're going to move into something that's going to make you feel a little bit more optimistic about what is ahead. And there's, you know, I'm looking at these two and I'm thinking about the situation and how, you know, you could have went a different way and you could have like gotten all out of control with your emotions and your thoughts, but here there's this beautiful balance happening, right? But enthusiasm, I like seeing the Page of Wands in your environment, especially with the Six of Swords. If you're doing traveling, it's going to be to something that's going to be a little bit more fun for you, is what it feels like. Your hopes and your fears, and this is persistence. It's persistence. And again, it goes back to the difficulties that you may have faced in the past. The problem for me with the Nine of Wands has always been that this person, you know, is so ready to continue fighting that they may not see new opportunities presenting themselves. But looking at it the way I am right now, it's more about you still having some fight left in you. You know, there's that persistence here to continue on, even out of the difficulties that you faced. So I see this as a good thing. It shows what you've been through, but it also shows that you're ready to continue. You're not going to let this beat you down, which is good, And then the outcome. Again, some of you are dealing with an air sign, and it could be a Libra. Libra seems to be persistent here for some of these readings, and you guys are no exception. The Queen of Swords in the outcome, first of all, is talking about, and I'm just going to say this, for some of you who are breaking up right now, you're going to get to a point where you start to find your own strength and independence. Because the Queen of Swords is looked at as the divorced woman, the single woman, because her partner is not emotionally available. So the energy surrounding some of you, you find your own strength and independence, you know, through this patience and balance that's happening for you. There's a balance happening between the way that you're thinking and like the way that you're communicating and the way that you're feeling out of what you've had to face in the past. So, you know, where this could have been like, because we could have seen the Knight of Swords underneath that 7. That would have been even worse. But seeing the 6 and seeing Temperance, it's like this slow move towards something that's a little bit more, you know, you're excited about it. There's still some difficulty surrounding it, but you're being persistent. and you're being logical about it, right? You're not overthinking things, and you get to this point where you start to feel this strength and independence. Now, in some cases, some of you are dealing with a relationship involving an air sign, and where it leads is really up to you on whether or not you have patience for this person. Looking at it this way, you know. But you're definitely moving away from the difficulties. This isn't something that is persisting, and you are persistent in the fact that you are wanting that fairness and balance in your life. Thinking logically, being patient, and there's still excitement for you. But for a lot of you, I feel like you get to a point where you start to surround yourself with that energy of the Queen of Swords, strength and independence. You know? And again, reason and logic. Your mind is like sound right now in the decisions that you make. A new path emerging, Page of Wands. Expansion is also talking about expanding yourselves and not closing yourselves off to, you know, that thinking in the box, right? Expanding your thought, expanding your spirit, and reconnecting with spirit is always important. You know, especially when you're dealing with difficult situations that you're trying to move away from. When you connect with spirit, you feel that sense of guidance. And again, you know, rejection is spirit's protection. Trust in spirit and where it's leading you, and reconnect with that feeling. And new path emerging. The Six of Swords and the Page of Wands. Something new is going to open itself up for you, and it may be in the form of a person. All right. We are going to take a look at the romance angels to see what other messages there are for Virgo. But I really love the wisdom tree here. Express your love. Go ahead and make the romantic gesture. And I'm seeing this one a lot. For those of you who are in a relationship and you are happy with your partner, express that love to them. When you have those feelings, if we're not expressing that to these people, you know, it can shut you off and create like a block in the relationship. So expressing your love for the person that you're with, that you love, is very important, very important. But Virgo, I think for some of you, you're going to have something and somebody unexpected coming to you that is going to help you come out of whatever difficulties you're facing here that you're moving away from now. Like, this is going to be somebody that you didn't expect to step in and start lifting you up. Okay, Virgo, I'm telling you, I don't think I've ever talked about this card so damn much, and I'm so curious to see what is going on with Libra. But there is a need here for you to have fairness and balance in your life. And what I'm feeling here is not only are, you know, the difficulties in the past are going to be amended, but there's going to be some fairness and balance, especially for those of you who are looking for a meaningful relationship, especially with the two romance angels that fell out. But whatever you're facing in the past that you're moving away from right now, there's guidance around you, and it's going to lead you into a calmer situation. But I think the big thing here is, for some of you, somebody unexpected is definitely going to come through and lift you up. And this is definitely somebody I wouldn't expect to be the person to have some compassion for me and what I'm dealing with, right? But regardless, you have this inner persistence. You've been put through some stuff before, but damn it, you're not done yet. There's still more to experience, and where you're headed is going to be fun. And you're going to have this optimism. You're going to meet somebody new that's going to have some compassion for you. I love it. And I think for some of you, if you felt rejection and this is what you're moving away from, again, rejection is spirit's protection. And then it's going along too with what you're pulling here in the romance angels. Pay attention to the red flags and worth waiting for. If this has to do with a relationship for Virgo, some of you are going to be meeting an air sign, and it could be a Libra. But besides that, if you are seeing somebody right now and it feels like it's not quite right, it's because the divine is stepping in and saying, wait a minute, because somebody else is going to come through for you guys. Overall, though, this reading is really hopeful. Where you've had difficulties in the past, you're moving away from it, you have guidance around you, and it's guiding you to somebody that may be helping you. For others, it's just you're being guided to a spot now where there's going to be some more fun and optimism and excitement, and you're going to feel strong and you're going to feel independent. Either way, you guys are headed to something that is going to be better than what you've dealt with in the past, which is perfect to see. And then for those of you who are in a relationship and you're happy, express how you feel. Express how you feel to the other person. But definitely here, reconnect with spirit. Your life is expanding. Something in your life is going to be expanding here. And I feel like it has to do with the people that you're going to come across. And then when it comes to reconnecting with spirit, that is really, what you should be doing when it comes to the Six of Swords and the Page of Wands. When you're moving into those calmer waters, reconnecting with spirit should give you some optimism and some excitement for what is coming ahead. And then, when you're looking at new path emerging, it could have to do with relationships, you finding your strength and independence, whatever the situation is here. I like the messages that are coming through because they are hopeful out of the difficulties you faced in the past. And I'm looking at this, and for once, I'm feeling good about what's going on with Virgo. I have a lot of Virgo friends. As a lot of you know, my mother was a Virgo. Virgo is important to me. You guys have a tendency to think negatively about yourselves. And not only that, but you overanalyze everything that is said to you and all the situations that you face. And for once, here, you are definitely thinking with a sound mind. You're using logic and you're being persistent and you're moving forward on all of this. I mean, to see these two together is telling me that you haven't been beat down here. You're tapping into your logic and your reason, and you're persisting in the fact that there are better things ahead for you.